What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my social commentary channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. So, just like FYI, I took the weekend off. This time I did take a 3-day weekend, but normally from here on out, I think unless there is something just absolutely breaking news that drops, I'm going to start taking weekends off because I'm getting a little burnout. Now, I love making these videos, but just the 7 days a week is a lot for me. I need 2 days where I can unplug and do absolutely nothing. So I am going to start taking weekends off. Also, I did just start taking classes for nutrition and personal training. So that's really exciting. But with that comes more on my plate. So I need 2 days to just disconnect from everything. So just FYI, when I take weekends off, it doesn't mean something's wrong. That's just what's going on. But anyway, let me talk about today's video about the Halo TV show, how it absolutely massacred everything Halo. It is probably the worst thing I've ever witnessed in any type of gaming or nerd fandom. And that's saying a lot because I think what they're doing with like Rings of Power is awful. But my gosh. Let's just dive in. First, I made this tweet. I quote tweeted Bulwark boy. I said, this is the most I've seen any fandom butchered, and I thought Tomb Raider got bad. They must outright hate the fans to do this, which at this point I'm convinced of it. To do this much to it, I'm convinced that they hate the fans, they hate gamers, they hate the fandoms, and they do this on purpose. They want to make fans mad. I don't know, at this point, I just think with a lot of things, Rings of Power, Tomb Raider, now this, which is the worst I've ever seen, I feel like they just try to make the fans upset. Because how do you accidentally do this much stupid stuff? So as he outlined here perfectly, reveal Master Chief's face in the first episode without buildup, turn him into a maniac who almost kills his mother figure, have him cuck Cortana by sleeping with the enemy while she's in his nervous system. That is just... kill him off in the first season, have Cortana meat puppet him around. Just massacred. And of course, a journalist is saying the Halo TV series is the gold standard for video game adaptations. Now, this was suggested to me, by the way, this article. So I want to thank anyone who does drop suggestions. On my Discord server, I have a Go Boom suggestions. It helps a lot. Now, when you guys link articles, maybe give a little blurb. Not a big write-up. Rookie425 posted this. Just linking me an article and maybe just like a little blurb or something. That helps a lot. Now, so I noticed a ton of people in this part of my Discord link videos. But for the most part, unless it's a video for me to react to, I don't really like making videos about other videos. So if you have an article I can read on a video or something like that, that helps a lot. So like right here, okay, for some reason, and this is why I think game journalists, nobody hates games as much as game journalists. And that's why I'm thinking this journalist loves the Halo TV show so much. Let's see what she had to say. Paramount Plus's Halo series subverts expectations in brilliant ways, making for a meaningful and unexpected video game adaptation. Oh my gosh, this is cringe. There are spoilers, so if anybody is that concerned about it, yeah, you might want to tune out. The Halo TV series deviates from the games in unexpected ways. Sure, there are lovely little Easter eggs, nods to major in-game events, and live-action versions of some of the coolest stuff from the games, as well as brilliant late-stage bait and switch that had me screaming at the TV. But throughout the first season, the plot has been untethered to the games, freely telling a meaningful story about new and old characters, blah, blah, blah. Perfectly balanced. Dude, I ain't even reading all this because it's going to make me hurl. Like, perfectly balanced. Adapting to a video game can never be a one-to-one scenario, as it just won't translate. Why do people say that? Like, why do people always say that? I feel like they're just repeating stuff at this point. Oh, yeah, it won't translate if you do 1-to-1. It won't translate, even though, this multi-billion-dollar franchise won't translate. And showrunners or movie directors face that difficult task of striking just the right balance between the new and the familiar. We know the upcoming Last of Us TV series has plans to do something similar, which would probably be absolutely terrible. The story set to fill things out and expand, not undo, but rather to enhance. I hope she's not talking about Halo, because that did not enhance it. All it did was just change everything. This kind of storytelling feels like a best of both worlds. Oh my gosh, I can't. No, it doesn't. Here's the thing, is people want to act like video games or like these fandoms and stuff. Oh, they don't translate. They don't translate into TV shows. They don't translate into movies and stuff. Well, how come almost every time, how come 99 out of 100 times they flop on the big screen? Why? When they do just fine and they're selling billions of dollars in video game format, but on the big screen they flop. Why? It's because every time they say this same stupid bull crap of, it won't translate, it won't translate. Well, apparently what they're doing isn't translating because it's not doing well. And we already know the Halo Paramount series, nobody's freaking watching it, dude. This is just an absolute stupid crock of crap. So I'm sick of it. I am so tired of seeing our favorite franchises transformed, unrecognizable, just these carnal sins that they're doing just to deliberately make the fan base angry. It's stupid. I'm sick of it. And we're not only seeing this now with the games on the big screen, but we also see this with games getting rebooted or getting handed off to other studios, getting a fresh coat of paint, as they say. They make it worse as well. I mean, look at what happened to Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is completely unrecognizable. Not even close to what it was originally created to be. They do stuff to make the fans mad. They do stuff to completely change things, leave fans in the dust, and hope that we give them their money while appealing to new people, because what they're doing is just making the fans mad. And look at what even's happened with Tomb Raider. Now, when you look at the sales numbers, they are good. But when you really break it down, and I made a video on this, if you want to check that, it's in my recent uploads. The sales do not translate when you're factoring in budget and when you're factoring in sales numbers whenever a game goes on sale after like 2 weeks. I'm telling you. Like, they were practically giving the rebooted Tomb Raider games away. They literally were giving them away multiple times. And yeah, clearly, with what's happening with Tomb Raider and them getting sold off for so ridiculously cheap, it has not paid off. So when companies pick up franchises that have big fan bases, how about they start actually making the fans happy? Let's try that, please. All right. Oh gosh, let me go ahead and go into some recent comments from some of my recent videos. Donald Payne says, have you ever read the Screwtape Letters? I believe C.S. Lewis wrote it. Great book of how Lewis believed demons work against Christians. I haven't. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat in the background. He's just going crazy right now. All right, so anyway, he's a very clingy cat. Anyway, so I haven't, but that is interesting. I'm very fascinated with like fallen angels, Nephilim, demons, and how they interact in the real world. So I will definitely I don't even know if y'all can hear. I will definitely address that or look into that for sure. Symbio says, I don't want to be that guy, Melanie, with an A. Spell my name wrong, but it's okay. It's probably autocorrect. But your hair, you look way better when they are straight, like Avril Lavigne style. Just saying, you know what? You're allowed to have that opinion. I've been wearing my hair natural, and hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. But yeah, I'm doing it for myself, and also because I'm not nuking my hair with a straightening iron every day anymore. I'm over it. Ben Meller says, we need a proper remake / remaster of Tomb Raider. Bring the visuals up to date, more stylized, not realism. Exactly. The gameplay and mechanics to remain the same with slight quality of life improvements. Keep the level design. Don't go and change stuff that will make the game unrecognizable from the original. Don't you dare change the UI either. I loved seeing all the icons swirl out and in. Demon's Souls remake was able to do a great job and retain its original identity. Maybe if you get all the secrets, you unlock the unfinished business levels. I totally agree with your vision there. All right, Nathan says, your hair looks gorgeous. Thank you. Saint Life says, loved getting to hang out with you and the rest of the chat on your Twitch channel. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to more. Hashtag code Mac. Which, by the way, if you guys do not watch me there on my streams, I did like, 3 streams last week. I don't always stay consistent with streams, so it's just kind of when I can. It's just not on my top priority list because I just have a lot on my plate. But yeah, I have been streaming Slay the Spire. I freaking love that game so much. I love like strategy and card games and stuff. So that has been an absolute blast. All right, Douglas says, in the very first game, both parents died, talking about Tomb Raider, and she had to make her own way out of a forest when she was like 12. I don't know where you pulled this out of. I read this comment and I'm like, how? How did you think this? Then the very first game, first of all, Lara's family was not ever addressed or any of that. Now, there was a bio that was released, and in that case, her parents didn't even die. They disowned her because she didn't marry the Earl of Farrington, which they had planned for her. The parents dying wasn't until like the comics and Hollywood made that with the movie. But no, this is not first game canon. Not only that, but Lara working her way out of a forest when she was like 12. Also, I don't know where that one came from. No, Lara survived the Himalayan mountains because she was the lone survivor of a plane crash when she was 21. Okay. Bud says, Embracer is also rumored to be behind the Duke Nukem Forever leak. They actually like and care about gaming, it seems. They have my full faith and support. Thank goodness. Like, Tomb Raider needed something. All right, so this was about Crystal Dynamics. Same commenters earlier. Says, my trans friends are upset too. They love classic Lara Croft. Fourth wave feminists are whack. Gloria Steinem and the other 70s women don't recognize them at all. 50% of Michael Turner's fans are women. I didn't know that. I do love his work, by the way. But anyway, rip. Like, okay. Let me just continue before I put my foot in my mouth more. All right, so when you said this, I do totally agree with this point because I know when I think of every transgender woman I know. Okay, it's probably like 4 or 5 of them. Every single one of them unanimously prefer classic Lara Croft to the reboot one. Every single one of them unanimously look up to a very femme fatale type character with like classic Lara, proportions, all that kind of stuff. So to have that as an excuse, which a lot of like wokey creators do, we don't want to make the female characters too curvy and stuff because we want to be inclusive and all that. Like the transgender community, transgender women, for the most part, I can't speak for them obviously, but I just know all of them I know and see love characters like that. Love the hyper feminine characters, much similar to the way that regular like born women also like characters like that, like myself. It's a fantasy, you know what I mean? Nobody looks at classic Lara Croft and says, I don't like her because I don't look like her, she's too unrealistic. Like, no reasonable human being does that. Anybody who does is an idiot because like you can't expect to cartoon characters and video game characters, which are kind of an extension of cartoon characters, to have to look just like we do. That's absolutely absurd. All right, now let's go ahead and go on to the verse of the day. I picked Hebrews 10:35 through 36. It says, therefore, do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done all the will of God, you may receive what is promised. So stay strong, you guys. I know society the way it is. I know too, not everybody who watches my videos are Christian. So when I read these verses of the day and stuff, take what applies to you. And if it doesn't, I'm not preaching at you and I'm not forcing anything at you. Some people get mad, but most people understand this and they don't take every little thing as a personal attack. But I usually get a couple comments like this every couple days or so, like where they get mad that I do this. But hey, if it doesn't apply to you, you don't like it, that's fine. But anyway, for those who does, like, stay strong, man, because I'm telling you, like, society, being a Christian and in society and all this kind of stuff, you get tons of backlash, you get tons of hate. It's just how it is. But just stay strong. Like, it's worth it. It's worth it in general, and not even just, and I know for, on the surface you see, oh yeah, okay, so you'll receive what's promised, you'll receive eternal life and all that, which is great and awesome. But I think what a lot of Christians, I know like myself, will find is that they're even for, because on the outside people think, oh, you're sacrificing your life and your happiness on this world for the future that may not even happen and all that kind of stuff, or the afterlife, which may not even be real and all that. And people say that and they act like us being Christians is some sort of, we're ruining our quality of life and fun and all this kind of stuff that we'd have otherwise. But I'm just saying, as somebody who, I grew up Christian, been Christian most of my life, but did turn away from it for a few years at one point, came back to it. I'm telling you, my quality of life, even in my day-to-day, is so much happier when I am strong in my faith and when I am in my faith, okay? Versus when I turned away from it there. So, yeah, when you really unpack it like that, and there's certain things that we want to please God, and so we want to live a life that is pleasing to God. So it doesn't mean that we're always going to be able to do what our fleshly desires want us to do. No, ideally we would have the discipline to not do so. But like I've said in other videos, when the Bible talks about things that you shouldn't do, now, there's different laws in the Old Testament that don't necessarily apply to now, like fabrics and stuff like that. But that's a whole other topic I could go on. But the general principles, man, okay, they are put in place for our good. And so you'll find that even if someone isn't a Christian, that they would benefit from listening to a lot of these statutes. It's because it's for our own good. It's not like God just said, nope, you're not allowed to have fun. Let's look at things like gluttony, for example. The Bible tells us not to be gluttonous. If you really look at it and think, oh, well, wouldn't I be happy if I could just eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, just constantly eat nothing but cake and pizza every single day, all day? Well, what happens when you do that? You ruin your health. You're miserable, sick, probably obese, all this stuff. So to not be a glutton is for your own good. Same thing when it comes to promiscuity. What happens when someone is promiscuous? They're forming all of these emotional and soul-like bonds, soul tie-like experiences with other people that is not healthy. And I'm a firm believer in energy transfer. So whenever you are engaging in that kind of activity with someone, you're transferring your energy and they are transferring their energy to you. And you want to be very selective with that, because that's not good for you. Not mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that. It's not good for you, not to mention all of the STD risk that go along with promiscuity and stuff like that. So yeah, when you really, one thing after another. What about drunkenness? Okay, oh well, doesn't it sound fun to be able to be an alcoholic and drink all the time and not have to like think about real world problems? But it's terrible for you. And this is another thing, and whatever people want to do with their lives, whether it's gluttony, promiscuity, alcoholism, I don't care. It's none of my business. But this is just but I am saying it's not good for you. I think people need to have the freedom to make their own decisions, but it's not good for you. And what is astounding to me is the vast majority of the population drink somewhat regularly, at least, and how how accepted alcohol is in society is just a normal part of life, to where when you don't drink, you're looked at like you're some kind of freak. But alcohol is absolutely horrifically terrible for you. It's poison that you're putting in your body. So it's like, just to expel that is difficult and is taxing on your body, not to mention all the long-term effects and all that. But I am just shocked at how, like, I hardly ever meet other people who don't drink, because I don't drink. Now, and any time I've tried to drink, I get sick, so freaking sick. My body does not like it. And ultimately, I think it's just because I don't have a tolerance for it, just because I've never really drank. So whenever I try to drink, I get extremely sick. So and my way of thinking is, how about instead of trying to build a tolerance to where it seems like I can somewhat handle it, even though I'm poisoning my body, how about I just don't do it? But yeah, that's my way of thinking there. My goodness, I'm going on a tangent. But anyway, do what you want to do. At the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but I do think that, this is very beneficial. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom. I wanna